negros, indios nativos, somos los verdaderos israelitas. ¿Esto dónde lo dice según el versículo? Esto dice en la Biblia.
Show that Puerto Ricans love America, but that ain't reality.
Police attack was planned beforehand. Only white cops were assigned.
They're not only resources to defend ourselves.
We tried to move people onto the sidewalks, but the police were all out for blood.
Another series of protests was staged by thousands of students, parents, and the Brown Berets. In June 1968, the group that had become known as the East LA 13 was released on bail.
Demonstrate to our people and we deserve better and that we could, get better.
I don't think there's ever been a time when we need more of the spirit of the young lords than today.
I guess we had no fear. We just did what we thought at the time was the right thing to do.
National captain of the Black Panther Party. They are making it their business to process arresting me and my wife, through a process of arresting numerous Panthers on the block.
Police just went in and started beating them viciously. It was ugly. They were just yelling at us, you dirty spicks, dirty Mexicans, who do you think you are?
Shalom Israel, Cuba Le Raza, right here another night, holding it down for Priest and Officer Kazak Yad. This is the Inconvenient Truth, coming live to you every Wednesday night. We gonna come, we are the voice of the Raza. We're up here, to bring, the truth out to the Raza. You know what I mean? So we right here, holding down for mighty Priest and Officer Kazak Yad, man, a diligent brother in this truth, man, always bringing that inconvenient truth, bringing that heavy, that heavy truth, man, which is, what I mean, a shake in your reality, man. We showing the historical proof, the content of who we are as a raza. Also want to say, man, that we are the voice of the raza here in the ISUPK, right? Of course, we are the ISUPK, the Israelite School of, of Universal and Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West 125th Street under commanding General Yahana. You know what I mean? So we're right here holding it down, man. You know what I mean? And we are the voice of the Raza. Like I said, the ISUPK, we are the voice of the Raza. We gonna be out here, man, to talk about the issues affecting our people every day, man. So, we holding it down, man. Salakia, just bear with me 1 second, Israel. Bear with me 1 second. But yeah, as I was saying, we're the home of the truth, man. We're the voice for the Raza, man. And of course, Raza, y'all been paying attention to everything that's been going on, affecting our gente, right? You see that you had that situation with Tiger, you know what I mean, where he made that disrespectful video. I know it was such a heavy topic that it drew, divides, you know what I mean? It split, it turned brother against brother, man. Like there was Raza that agreed, with it being disrespectful, and there were others that didn't, that thought it was just a joke and you shouldn't take it that serious. But here's the point to that, man. And I know, a lot of people are going to say this is old news and we shouldn't even talk about this anymore. But I do want to mention something, man. In the spirit of brotherhood, ¿sabes qué? If a brother tells you that something you're doing is offensive to him, you should, not do that again, man. You should hear that brother out, right? The Bible talks about that. The spirit of brotherhood that Christ taught told you that, if you had an issue with your brother, you go to him and him alone. You go to him and him alone, and if he hears you, thou hast gained a brother. You know what I mean? So what's that saying, right? Saying that if your brother comes up to you and says that you offended him, you shouldn't be in your pride and try to, deny or disregard what he's telling you. you should listen to that carnal. You should listen to him and apologize. You should be like, you know what, sabes que dispensa, carnal. I didn't mean to say that. I didn't mean to offend you. You know what I mean? I didn't mean to say that. So we as a people, man, like that whole situation with Tiger, man, like you know, I know a lot of people didn't you know, like accept his apology, but I will give Tiger this, man. At least he took the video down, right? He took the video down, and that showed a lot of, you know, that showed a lot of respect. You know what I mean? And you can give him the respect of that. That at least he had the honor to take down the video. You know what I mean? Because when I know a lot of y'all saw the interview, man, he was kind of hesitant to take it down when with that cat from American Cholo, right? When he was telling him how it was, you know, disrespectful and racist. So he took it down, right? Like at first it wasn't bad. At the end, he let it. He thought about it. He took it down. So the point I go to say that, right, is that that's something that we teach here in the ISUPK. You got an issue with your brother, you go to him and him alone, and you know. You bring it up. You let him know the issue, and if that brother, you know, hears you and apologizes, that has gained the brother. You know what I mean? It's all good. But of course, if the brother doesn't hear you, right, and tries to, you know, not agree with you, think that, you know, what you did isn't that big of a deal, you can take him to counsel. And basically, you know, like that's the only thing I could say, man, is all these cats in the world that you know, out there talking, you know, low key, they're watching our videos, man. They're watching our classes when we teach brotherhood and everything. So, you know, like that's the whole side to it, man. So yeah, we're gonna start it out, man. We're gonna start out today. We're gonna break it down. Let me bring out that precept real quick. You know what I mean? We're gonna talk about, you know, like I said, this was, you know, you could say, you know, like this is what we talk about here in the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana. When you gotta, instead of, you know, like that's the whole thing. Like we're so quick in these streets, right, to go and you know, go harm another brother. You know what I mean? If the brother says something disrespectful to you, if a carnal says something out of line to you, right, you're quick to take it to the streets. You're quick to go to violence, man, and go murder that brother. You know what I mean? A simple misunderstanding turns into a whole gang beef, right? A simple misunderstanding turns into a lifelong hatred, years and years of generational hatred. It's like it towards one another. And the reason why that is because that you know, black and brown men, we have been raised effeminate in this kingdom, right? We have been stripped of our masculinity. We have not been, you know, a lot of us have been raised out without our fathers, right? Our father's locked up in jail. Our father's deported back in Mexico, or he's in, you know, jammed up in some way. You know what I mean? Or your father grew up without a father and he couldn't teach you how to be masculine. You know what I mean? So what happens is you got, you know, you get raised. A lot of these men have been raised by their mothers, so they become effeminate. And you know that you see that spirit among sisters, right? When another sister says something insulting to that sister, she's quick to put hands on that sister. When you get in an argument, you know, growing up as a child, you know, you said something disrespectful to your mother. What she do? She slapped you across the face. She put hands on you, right? Because that's you know, that's an emotional reaction, right? When you get angry, you black out and want to put your hands and harm somebody. That's, you know, you reacting based off emotion and not thinking logically, man. And our women, right, have been taught, you know, women are emotional by nature. So, you know, that men, you know, we're not by that. We're meant to think and be logical, right? But when we're being stripped of our masculinity, that's what happens. And that's why you got brothers that mean mug each other and go are quick to stab one another. That's why, you know, you got, you know, a brother writes over, you know, something simple as in the streets, man. When it comes to the art of graffiti, you write over another writer's name, right, accidentally, he doesn't care. He goes and crosses you back out, and you cross him back out. And next thing you know, when you two see each other, man, y'all literally trying to kill each other over paint on the wall, man. Because that's the, you know, as I said, that's the feminist spirit, man, that's been placed on us, man. You don't go to that brother and talk it out. You don't go to him and him alone and be like, hey, man, what you did, I thought was wrong. You think, nah, man, this person disrespected me. This vato disrespected me. I'm going to kill him. And F his neighborhood, F his barrio, F these tintos, F these mayates, you know. Of course, that's the whole issue, right? That situation with Tiger also brought out, right? It brought out that whole black and brown beef again, man. Like the there's this big animosity that's always been between the raza and black people here in Southern California, right? And the Box has done news stories on it. It's nothing new, man. It's nothing new. You know, you got raza saying F these mayates, and you got black brothers saying F these tacos, F these wetbacks, F these spics, while at the same time, you know what I mean? They you know, nobody says F these gringos, F these, you know, these crackers. You know, and of course I'm not, you know, for what is it, for the algorithms of hate speech and everything. I'm not condoning any racial violence. I'm not condoning, you know, hatred towards anybody or harm towards another group. This is all for strictly educational purposes, right? So we're quick to hate on one another, but we're not quick to see why we hate one another. We're not quick to understand the situation going on, right? Because we partake in a culture that's not ours, man. You know what I mean? That gangbanging culture is not our culture, Raza. That gangbanging culture is not your culture, black man. That's the white man's culture. And you want to know the proof? The proof is you just look simply within your own barrio, within your own set. You know what I mean? Why is a brother in there or a carnal in there got a name after an Italian mobster? You got a vato in there named Capone. You got a homeboy in there named, you know, Bugsy. What's another one? Lucky, you know, after Lucky Luciano, right? Why they like dressing like mafiosos, right? Rocking the hats and the suits and everything with the Tommy gun. Who dressed like that? The Italians did. The Jewish man did, right? And I know a lot of y'all, you know, seen Gangs of New York. And, you know, like Gangs of New York is where all that gangbanging starts from. Looked it up, man. One of the first documented gangs, right, was the 40 Thieves, right, which was an Irish gang. You know, the Irish brought that culture of gangbanging. You know what I mean? But nobody demonizes the Irish for it. Nobody demonizes the Italians for it. Nobody demonizes the Jewish man for the things they did here in America, right? When they started that life of crime, they started that whole drug ring and, you know, stealing drugs and stuff. And they made sure to only sell it to blacks and browns. They had clauses that they should never sell it to their own people, man. So us, man, as Raza, we should wake up, man. We should not partake in this culture. And that's the whole thing, man. Like Tiger did that video because he honestly, he didn't, you know any better, man. He didn't know any, but he didn't know who the Raza was. He didn't know that he was dissing his own brothers and sisters, man, when he made that video. You know, of course, that video was, you know, was stereotypical. And I'm pretty sure his team told him to do it. You know, they you know, like, they thought very lightly. I mean, this brother, you know, obviously, and that's another thing to show is that there's a lot we don't know about each other, black man and brown man. There's a lot we don't know about one another. We done been so disconnected from each other, man. We think of each other as two different strangers. You know what I mean? When we got similar oppressions, man. Our cultures have been stripped from both of us, man. You know what I mean? Like that whole, you know, Cholo style, the Catholicism, you know. What they tell us our indigenous ancestors supposedly did and this and that, that's them telling us. That's them giving us a culture that they want us to follow, man. When they strip that, when they strip that from us, you know what I mean? They stripped our identity from us. We don't even know what you know what our culture really is, man. Because it's been taken from us at the hands of these devils, man. That's in the Bible, man. But like I said, man, I'm gonna go, you know, pull that out real quick. Pull that precept out. You know, go to where it says where Christ said to tell you to go to Him and Him alone. You know, that Christ was the ultimate, you know, brother, man, that taught, like, you know, taught true brotherhood, man. Where he came, right, he taught the ultimate revolutionary act, which was, you know, carnalismo. That's what was gonna end the issues for our people, man. Well, let me go to the KJV, you know, let me go to this Bible app real quick, man. We're gonna bring it out. Because that's the thing, man. We don't know how to deal with one another. Is why our street vendors get assaulted, man. It's why there's black on black crime. Why there's brown on brown crime. Why there's gang violence. Why there's black versus brown crime, right? because we don't know, we don't have that code of conduct, man. The ultimate reason why that is because we are Christians, man. Because best believe, what religion you think these gang members have, man? They got, well, because Officer Kazak always brings it out every time, man. Every time he always brings out that, these vatos got, the Virgin Mary tattooed on one arm, and on the other arm they got, Aztec Mexica tattoos, man. Which is a contradiction, you know what I mean? But that comes to the whole, having that Virgin Mary, having, supposed that white Jesus tattooed on you, having that cross on you shows that you're a Christian, man. This is what we say in the ISUPK, man. Like, is outside of here, man, we're the only, if anything, man, we're the only home of the truth, man. Outside of here, man, it's just another form of Christianity. You fake Israelite groups, you're still Christians, man. As much as you want to deny being a Christian, as much as you want to claim that you're against the Christian church, you're no different, man. You're no different than the Christian church. You're all the same, man. And up here in the ISUPK, man, we truly follow Christ. That's how you know this is where you're supposed to be, man. When people ask for a scripture, man, we can bring the scripture out where it says, you shall know my disciples by their works, by, the way we love one another. Up in here, the true brotherhood and sisterhood we practice in here is the proof that this is where who truly follows Christ, man. That this is the one body you're supposed to be in. You look at everything else outside, man, and you look at how it is in here. And then you'll understand and see, man, that this is where it is, where it's at. So I know a lot of fakers that's gonna hurt your feelings and everything, and you're gonna get offended. But I'm only telling you, the truth, which ironically you find inconvenient, man. It's just the truth. You're still a Christian if you're not in here, man. So I'm gonna bring this precept out, man, real quick. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 15. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. Oh, next slide here. See, if he shall hear, thou hast gained thy brother, right? So that's the thing, man. You're supposed to go to him and him alone, man. And from there, if he hears thee, you shall gain him, man. You know what I mean? But if he will not hear thee, then take with thee one or two more, that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established, right? So if he don't hear you, then you take it to a council. You take it to have 2 other brothers hear you. You know what I mean? To discuss the matter and let them decide. You don't decide nothing on your own, man. You let the men around you, the men above you, hear out the matter, and then you decide, man, what was going to go down. You know what I mean? So that's the whole thing. Salak, bear with me, Rasa. 1 second, man. I'll have you. So there it goes. If he will not hear thee, right, then take with thee 1 or 2 or more that in the mouth for 2 or 3 witnesses, every word may be established, right? They're going to hear every word out, man, right? And then, right, the next part, if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church. So now you take it to the council, right? But if he neglect to hear the church, let him be unto thee as a heathen man and a publican, right? So now, right now, you have the issue with your brother. You told him, right? You go to him and him alone. He doesn't hear you. You take him to 2 or 3 brothers. He doesn't hear you still. So now you take him to a council. The council finds that you're right and he's wrong, and he still doesn't want to apologize. Now he gets kicked out, man. Now he gets sent packing. You know what I mean? That's how it was handled back in the day, man. That's how we're supposed to be handling it now, man. Instead of, trying to harm a brother, man. Instead of trying to put our hands on a brother, we're supposed to handle it like that. So that's to show you that that's something we didn't grow up with, man. We grew up that if a brother offends you, right, you're supposed to harm him. You're supposed to put your hands on him, man. Not accept no apology, nothing, man. So that right there, man, we should, we should wake up, man, and learn. That's what we mean by carnalismo is what's gonna fix us, man. Right? Because I know a lot of y'all don't rock with the Israelite, with us being Israelites. A lot of you don't agree or believe that. So no sweat. We have to let our light shine. So the brotherhood and sisterhood we demonstrating here that we teach is what's gonna fix those issues, man. So that right there, man, like you go to that brother, to him and him alone. And this is what happens, when you don't have that, that code of conduct, that carnalismo. So black and brown tension is nothing new, man. It's been happening since, man, for the longest. You know what I mean? This is a story, right, from 2 years ago. You know what I mean? 2 years ago, I remember growing up, man, like it was going down like that. You know what I mean? Where we couldn't rock with one another.
What is going on, guys? It's Black Bugatti driving through Korea.
I'm gonna bring out the Fox 11, man. Fox 11 went touched heavy on this. Just 1 second. Because that's the thing. This has been going on, man. This has been going on since for the longest here in LA, man.
2 gang members were sentenced today for killing.
You know what I mean? And today, let me say this, man. Like today, it's been, because of social media, right? During my time when I was younger, social media wasn't a big thing, right? But now, because of social media, you're seeing a lot of stuff being out there. And what social media has been capturing, right, is when black people attack the raza, right? When black people attack the street vendors. But it's always been, this tension with one another. Here's a story from Fox 11, right? Or so like, I don't know if it's Fox 11, but this is a story that happened a while back. I mean, where that this is not, is not new.
Killing a teenager on a high school campus in the Valley. CBS News Randy. 2 gang members were sentenced today for killing a teenager on a high school campus in the Valley. CBS News Randy Page shows us what happened in the Van Nuys courtroom.
Anthony and Michael Carpio sat expressionless in court today while Judge Martin Herskovitz prepared to sentence them after they were found guilty of second-degree murder. Their victim, 18-year-old Kevin Oriana, was stabbed to death on April 24, 2013, when he was confronted by the 2 gang members on the grounds of Cleveland High School in Reseda. Before sentencing,
so like it is a different story, but you know what? Since this is showing something, that I talked about earlier, we're gonna continue playing it.
Pronounced, prosecutor Scott Marcus read an impact statement written by the victim's family, while Judge Herskovitz watched photos provided by Oriana's parents.
As a parent, we plan to dance at their wedding, celebrate a promotion, look forward to possible grandchildren. The last thought we would ever have is that we would have to plan their funeral.
Judge Herskovitz said Kevin Oriana was playing handball at the high school when the 2 gang members accosted him.
That's all he was doing.
The judge then sentenced the 2 brothers to 16 years to life. The Carpio brothers will not be eligible for parole until the year 2028, and by then, both of them will be in their early 30s. In Van Nuys, Randy Page, CBS 2 News.
So that was an example of, black brown on brown violence, right?
Killer Andrew Romero.
That was brown on brown violence right there is what went down right there, man. You know what I mean? And that was, too younger. They were young kids, right? But that's, no one knows why they had the issue, right? You know what I mean? They got sentenced to life in prison, but, like what that comes to show, right? Like another scripture, right? That proves, because that's another thing, right? We always say that in the book of, that the curses in the book of Deuteronomy apply to us, right? And there, right there, you had an incident right there that proved it, right? I mean, that's not the story I was looking for. That was a story, right, of two brothers in Long Beach that attacked a kid. You know what I mean?
Stabbed that, killing a teenager on a high school campus in the Valley. CBS 2's Randy Page shows us what happened in the Van Nuys courtroom.
Anthony and Michael Carpio sat.
And then these brothers, like they got that extreme hatred for their brother they murdered. They didn't even they didn't even show any remorse, right? But I'm trying to find the story. This is, like I said, the Black and Mexican conflict is nothing new, man. But took the videos down, man. Like, this is such an old story. But as I said, man, like it's you know what I mean. This has been happening, and today, right, we catch it, all because of social media. You see all this. Okay, here we go. This is the video I want. This is the one I was looking for right here. So this is the video I found, right? Just so like it, bear with me, Israel. There we go. Okay, Khan, okay, Mosai, we got Officer Kazak on the show. Go, Salaki, I don't want to try my best to hold it down for you, sir. Salaki, can't hear you too good, I don't want.
All right, can you hear me now?
Khan, sir.
Okay, Khan. Salaki, I was having issues with this camera since last night, but
no sweat,
already. There's your video right there too.
Khan, sir. I don't know if you remember this, right? Like this was a story that I saw in the news when I was, in high school, and this was showing the black and brown beef in Compton. So I was just, like that's what I was elaborating on. I don't know what topics you wanted to go on tonight. I don't want.
It's all good. It's all good. Sounds good. Right now, that whole black and brown is an important topic to talk about, especially when you got the brothers in the world kind of going back and forth with different topics, where black brothers and Hispanic brothers are not meeting eye to eye with some of the things that are being said, some of the things that are being published.
Right.
Take a look at some of the music videos and some of the interviews and things that are going on, podcasts, and we see it all around. We see how different points of views between people are causing conflict within our neighborhoods, black and brown. And that's something that us in the UPK need to be attentive to, because we're coming out here to try to unify the black and brown nation or people, or brothers. We are all one in the ISUPK, black and brown. But when you go out of the UPK, you understand that they see it different. They see it as two different people, two different nationalities, two different cultures, even though we understand and we know now that we are all one single culture, but they don't view it that way. And, I think you guys have mentioned before that it's not really, it's not really Tigger's fault, it's not really that, but, those that allow, it to take place, who's the ones behind the music video, who are the directors, who are the people with the ideas. You got to understand in the industry, right? it's different people who come together to make something happen. A music video isn't, you don't see just a rapper and say, oh, he did the whole thing. It's actually, different ideas that come together from producers, directors, creators, creative editors, creative writers. There's a
Right.
whole different, agenda there of different people. And then there's the think tank, which is where, you got different people who come together who want to know what sells, what's going to sell, what's going to cause controversy, what's going to get us more views. It's kind of
Right.
like us in the UPK. We do the same thing when we have our consoles, right? We have our console. We all come together to see what's the best way that we can work together to make our videos and our posts and our efforts to get our material out, our classes out. How are we going to do it? And then, of course, we all have some kind of contribution to the whole process. And it's the same thing there with them. You got we have different officers who do different have different aspects of it, and so do they. They have different people and different aspects of making it happen. So
Right.
when you think about it, the way they're making it happen is someone out there is saying this can be controversial, and we want controversy because
Right. Right.
controversy gets you hits. We all know that controversy gets you watchers. You want to get your video watched, put something controversial as the title, or put something controversial for the tags. And it's going to get you what you're looking for. Go ahead, Malak.
So I was just gonna say real quick, like when back to touch on Tiger, right? It was not a I brought it out the last time we spoke about this, but it's not a coincidence, right, that he made that video at the around the same time, right, that incident with that sister came out, right, where she was attacking the street vendors. You got to ask yourself, right? He knows the majority of his fan base is Raza.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I mean. So as you said, right, they're going after the controversy because he said it in that interview that he grew up with the Raza. He grew up with Mexicans, so he knows them. You know what I mean. So chances are he knows what's gonna offend them, and I wouldn't be surprised if he did that to make that spark that controversy to become relevant, to get more people to view his video and to get how do you say it what's that saying? Any publicity is good publicity. So
All
that's probably
publicity
what
is good publicity.
or get Comic Con. So
All
I
publicity
wouldn't be
is good
surprised.
publicity.
So that's my take on it, out of one. But yeah, like
No.
he was reluctant to take the video down, but at the end he took it down.
Right. No, and absolutely, like you say, you're dealing with people that know exactly what's going on, and how to do it. For example, out here in LA, we got Too Short.
Right.
When Too Short does a concert, right? When Too Short does a concert, or DJ Quick. When
Right.
DJ Quick does a concert in LA, all Mexicans show up. Like the whole goddamn Mexican neighborhood is going to see DJ Quick, or they're gonna go see Too Short. They're probably like in Hispanic clubs, right out in the Southgate, Long Beach area.
Right.
They always perform because they know that Mexicans love to go see Snoop Dogg, Easy, Too Short, right? DJ Quick, those are rappers that get a lot of support from the raza. Like we support them a lot. We love that. Like I love DJ Quick. Like I'm gonna be drinking. I'll hear some banda. I'll hear some norteño. I'll throw in some DJ Quick. Some old school Quick. Some Too Short. You know what I mean? Some Tupac. Some Ice Cube. You know what I mean? These are all raza like that. In our cars, we bump that. We bump Mexican
Right.
music, and we bump our West Coast rap music. We love that. To us, it's part of our culture. You're not gonna go hang out with a Mexican, right, and not hear that lineup. It's in rotation on our phones, on our radio, in our car, on our MP3s. It's on rotation. It's what we play because
Right.
we love the West Coast rap music. Out here, it's something that we've always liked. You know what I mean? And like at
Okay.
work, I'm at work, and at work we're hearing some banda, we're hearing some norteño, some Ramon Ayala. You know what I mean? Some Antonio Aguilar. You know, we're hearing some Chalino Sanchez, absolutely, some Saul Vieira, and then you're hearing some Tupac, and then you're hearing some DJ Quick. And let me tell you, I knew Saul Vieira personally, and Saul Vieira was a huge fan. El Gavilacio was a huge fan, man, like super fan of Tupac. Like he wouldn't bump Mexican music. He'd bump in his truck. He'd bump a Tupac. That was his go-to right there, Tupac. And that's because he's from Paramount, Long Beach, Linwood, Norwalk, Southgate, Inglewood. You know what I'm saying? I'm naming all the cities where that's what we bump. That's us right there. That's our go-to. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do. You know what I mean? And if you talk about Hispanic brothers, we go all across the board. Rock en español, right?
Right.
Oldies, right? Rap, Mexican music, like on our radio, on our playlist, man, we go through everything, like everything, like we're gonna have the party going all night long. Like we that DJ that has everything to play. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Malamo.
So like I don't like what you bringing out is heavy. I don't want I remember look at all the punk rockers, all the metal heads, right? It's all raza. You see them cats rocking, they're rocking their long hair, rocking the what is it, docs, the boots, the jean jackets, like the way we look in ISUPK, you know what I mean? That's how the spirit bear witness, you know what I mean? What they call rockeros in español.
Right.
So you know what I mean? So like I don't want. Are you able to see me on the screen?
Con, I see you. Oh, and let me see. I got Oscar War here too. Go ahead, Oscar War. I got you. Yeah, there we go. Salakia. So now we got Oscar War. It started off just with Malakma, and now we're all on it. Join in. So yeah, so when you think about it, we go all up across the board, man. Latinos in LA, Hispanics in LA, man. You talk about, oh no, they racist. We can't be racist, man, because we love the music, we love the culture. It's part of our culture in LA. The LA culture is like that. We listen to everything, and when you talk about rap music, like I said, that's definitely on rotation on all of us. No matter where we're at, we're gonna play that in our cars, in our homes, at our parties, at our quinceañeras, at the weddings. It's something you gotta have, rap music. So when you talk about Hispanics being racist, how can we be racist?
Right.
When that culture is so embedded into us, that's so interesting, and that's why I'm gonna say this. I seen that there was an issue with that American Cholo using the word nigger.
Right.
Yeah, right. He used the word nigger. He said something about nigger, but of course it was taken out of context from some devil, some white boy who said that he said nigger, but he didn't tell him why he had said the word. And so then you hear a lot of black brothers that were going to go down to Power 106 today to complain because this brother American Cholo used the word nigger, and now they're going to go complain. But let me tell you something. They're saying, oh, because he's racist because he used that word. Brother, we're not racist. We use the word nigger because that's just a word that Mexicans, because they hang around so many black brothers, because we grew up together, because we're so close, it's just like, that's just the way some people talk. Some people use the word nigger freely. We call each other. I'll call my Mexican brother my nigger. Oh, nigga, oh, nigga. And where did we pick it up? We picked it up from our black brothers calling us niggas. And then we called each other niggas. And it's just a word that we use. And a lot of black brothers do not find it offensive when a Mexican says the word nigger. To them, it's just another Mexican using the word nigger. Because to them, a lot of us are niggas. Because we grew up together. We go through the
Right.
same problems, the same issues. And a lot of Hispanic brothers are like, man, we don't need to be using that word. We should call each other that. That's disrespectful and it's not our culture. Well, everybody has their right to an opinion. Unfortunately, a lot of people are growing up and, we use that word without even a thought. Like, we ain't using that word to offend. We're using that word because it's just like part of your language. It's kind of like using the word wait, ¿qué onda, güey? Or no mames, güey. Right? These are words that just come to you. It's like I'm not trying to call you wait. It's just like, damn, it's natural. I use that
Right.
word because it's just something that just comes out. And then you think about it, damn, did I just call my brother an ass, a donkey? No, man, I just called you wait because that's the word we use, wait. Like if
Right.
you Mexican, you use the word wait. That's just the way it is. And
Right.
way is an ass. And Mexicans don't take it offense. We're not like, oh, you called me an ass. No, we're just like, oh, ¿qué onda, güey? Oh, nada, todo bien. We're just like responding to it as it's part of our vocabulary. And that's the way
Right.
the word nigga is to a lot of Hispanics. It's just part of the vocabulary because you grew up like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. Anybody want to jump in?
I'm sorry, where do you want to go, sir?
Nah, because sir, you're covering everything on that issue of using the N word, saying nigga. That's
right.
something. If I could, sir, that's something that, like you said, that so-called Latinos say that we say. You understand? And honestly, don't see nothing wrong with it, in my own opinion, because of the knowledge that I know, being in the
Right.
in the Commander General Yohana, and that's that we are the same people. We're oppressed the same. We're oppressed by the same enemy. And, our enemy knows who we are. We're the 12 tribes of Israel. We're one nation. We're one people. Even though we're different right now because we don't have the knowledge of the Lord and of the Bible. So we have a culture that we hold on to, which is not our true, actual culture. It's not a real culture. It's just something that's something that we made and we came up with, being in oppression, but we really are the same people. We really are one. That's why you see our so-called black brothers wearing Cortezes. It's not a real culture. It's just something that we saying fool, saying, they talk like us too. They take our words and use them too, and we take their style and then use it too. So, we're really
Right.
people, and like this issue right here is really small, but to our brothers in the world, it's a big issue.
If I could, sir.
Go ahead.
What I was gonna say is that's what it boils down to, right? Is that we don't know, it's what I said earlier at the beginning of the show, right? When I was, is that black and brown today, we don't know a lot about one another. You know what I mean? Like, we think we're two distinct people, right? Like we think we're two separate races when we just gotta look closely, man. Like you know what I mean? Look between, what is it? Just look at the bigger picture, man. Look at what we suffer, man, and look at how we're living in this place. And the thing is that a lot of people, like, cats don't even know that the word nigga is in the Bible. You know what I mean? That, what is in that scripture, nobody even knows what the word nigga means. Like, you know what I mean? Where it comes from. Like all we can associate it with is what the white man called our black brothers and sisters, right? When they call them, the derogatory word, and of course, like, I don't know, for hate speech purposes, I can't, won't say it, but that word, right, it is, has that whole, that heavy animosity to it, right? That history of hatred from Esau. And, like Esau did that purposely, being the subtile beast that he is, because little did you know that word is in the Bible, that Christ's disciples were called niggas, right? That were called niger, which means black, which the word just means black. And then at the end of the day, like, we think that black is a race, when black is not a race. Black is a color. Black is a condition. In the Bible, right? Black being, cursed. You know what I mean? And when you look at the conditions that both black and brown people are, that's why we say so-called. You know what I mean? So-called black. You know, so-called, Hispanic, so-called Native American Indian. Because these are all derogatory terms placed on us, right? When they really describe our living condition. You know what I mean? The white man's concept of race is what really has us jammed up as a people, right? And like Raza saying nigga, Raza says it as a term of endearment. They're not, the hateful word for when they're using it in the racist man, is when they calling them mayates, when they calling them tintos. They're not saying it in an endearing term. They're saying it out of racism, out of hatred, right? And then the whole thing too, right, is the reason why black and brown hate each other, right? Black and brown don't hate each other because of the way we look. We hate each other because because we've been pitted against one another, because we've done each other wrong. You know what I mean? So it's not an issue of being different races as it is the crimes, the things the wrong that we've done to one another. And because we want to forgive Esau because of Christianity, we'll forgive the white man first. We won't forgive our black and brown brother. We'll hate them, for forever. Meanwhile, the white man, he gets a pass. Nobody dares say anything bad about Esau. And Esau showed his craftiness in that situation with American Cholo, right? Where he twisted his words around. I mean, I saw that interview where all of a sudden he's saying he agrees with him all of a sudden. You know what I mean? Like it just proved to be the devil the Bible speaks of. Sir Salaki.
No, you're absolutely right. And let me tell you something. A lot of Hispanic brothers, man, they'll be sitting around and they'll be talking and they'll be like, oh, my nigga, this and that, blah, blah, blah. We nigga, blah, 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 we nigga, blah, blah, blah. And they'll be using that word like if it's a typical for them all day long. But when you hear, your oppressor say it, he's using that word to take advantage of it. He's using that word because he he's like using a privilege, right? That he has, where he can say whatever he wants and thinks that no one's gonna say nothing to him. You know what I mean? Like, we don't use the words like that against nobody. You mentioned some of the words that we do use when we are talking racially about our black brothers. And one of the things we don't use is we don't use the N word the way the white man uses it. We don't use that. And we won't say that. We'll tell each other, like you said, to each other, we'll be like that, tinto, el mayate, those are the words we use as racial, for racial divide. We'll use that. But we won't use the N word. That someone who uses that is kind of someone like just don't, it's just not, it's just not there. You know what I mean? But we won't use that because we know better. Because we grew up in those neighborhoods. And we know that that's something that we just don't use. You know what I mean? It's something that just doesn't come around. And besides, our history in Mexico is that we've been around blacks for a long time. And this is the thing that in Mexico, right, and Latin America, all of Latin America, a lot of the music that we favor a lot is produced by black Cubans, black Salvadoranians, black Puerto Ricans. And so we don't see them as, they play the cumbias, the merengues, you know what I'm saying, the salsa. And a lot of those bands and artists and singers, they're all black. One of the most famous ones in Mexico, all across Mexico, is Celia Cruz.
Right.
And Celia Cruz is like, she's known as the queen of salsa or cumbia or merengue. She's like the queen of that. And so she gets a lot of love in Mexico. Forever, she's always been, and she's a black woman. La Morena, La Negrita, another one is back in the 60s and the 50s, Perez Prado. Perez Prado, another great artist from Cuba, another black man, you know what I'm saying? And I could go on with a lot of artists that were black that came to the forefront, and people love them for what they are. People don't see them with a color line; they see them because of what they are. And that music is not like, oh, that's ghetto music. No, that's everybody's music. People love that music, and it's been around so long, and it's something that we understand that is part of our culture. So if the
Right.
music is part of our culture, then so is the artists and the singers and the black brothers and sisters that produce it. They are also part of our culture. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we embrace the cultures of music, especially music in Mexico, man. Music is a big part of our culture. Music's the big part of our culture. That's why we embrace so many different types of different types of music because it's already in us, to love everything from, banda, mariachi, norteño, guapango, right? You name it. We love the whole threads of everything. And the black brothers and sisters who produced also in those days, well, they're just part of the music. In Mexico, they didn't do what Elvis did out here, where he heard the music, loved it, and stole it, from
Right.
the black man. They didn't do that out there. Out there, they were like, "Oh wow, that's a great song," and they played it, and they got it, and whoever did it, it didn't matter. They continued doing it because they considered them great artists. Out here, they consider great artists, and then they steal it, and then they make themselves the great artists. Mexico's not like that. Mexico
Oh
has
God.
respected the musical art form in every country and every culture that's out there. What we call different cultures, right? Every culture, whether it be the Puerto Ricanos, the Cubanos, Dominicanos, all the music that's played is something that we find as part of our culture too. So we have a lot of respect for the black brothers and sisters. And what happens is America has taught us to hate each other. We don't bring that hate from over there. The European mentality and the European uh, uh, point of view and perspective is what makes us hate each other. Mexico has the same problem today. They got a European, a Eurocentric uh, type of perspective in Mexico, and that makes us hate our own indigenous people. You see the soap operas, the novelas, all European look, all Eurocentric is what they have out there. Everybody's got to be Eurocentric with blonde hair and light
Right.
skin. Same thing as America, no different. We're still seeing the same thing. When the black sisters go throughout here, try to make themselves white, so do the Hispanic sisters in Mexico and Latin America go through the same thing, trying to make themselves European, the European look. They don't want to have black hair. They don't want to have black eyes. They don't want to have dark skin. They want to be a lighter shade of brown because they want to fit into the European culture. Go ahead, Malak.
Oh, okay. Nah, it's a lie, sir. That like as like I'm looking at everything going on every day. I don't want like all these situations, right? And it just proves the scriptures more and more. You know what I mean? And it proves more and more how we're Israelites, right? Because what did Christ
Yeah,
say? What did he tell the Sadducees and the Pharisees? He told them, "Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do." Right. So
yeah,
now, when you look at the way all these brothers and sisters are acting right in the world, right, especially Christian pastors and all our supposed leaders, you can tell that we're the same people because all the hatred that they show right there, they're doing the lust of their father and
yeah,
being the devil. And the devil, we know that the white man is the hombre blanco, el gringo, he's the oppressor, is the devil the Bible speaks of. And they want to be like him. So they do his lust. And his lust is
John,
to hate on us. His lust is to make a mockery of us and make us
right,
a joke to everybody. You know what I mean? And then at the same
John,
time, right? When you talk about literally the lust of your father, right? The be and him being your father, you want to be like your daddy, right? Because Christ basically was telling him you want to be like your daddy, the Romans, we want to they want to be like their daddy, the Amalek, the white man, painting their hair blonde and dyeing their skin white. Like literally, that's the scripture right there coming to life in front of in front of us, man. As these situations take place. So it's just heavy to me, Adawan, and it's just heavy that you dropping that. You know what I mean? That you're seeing the Bible like take place right in front of you.
John, John. And for us, it's easy to see because we're in the truth. Now, I understand a lot of brothers and sisters that aren't in the truth, a lot of people in the world, they can't see the way we see things. And I don't know who I was talking to. Maybe I was talking to you the other day of a concept that I have of why people are like this, and it's because my theory. I have a theory about it, is because of the education that we've had throughout all of our generations. Right?
Right.
It's something that's been passed on, where we've been educated by our own families to think a certain way, and it begins with the religion, because
Right.
religion starts at your house, right? That's where religion starts. Religion starts at your house. Education starts at the school, right? Racism starts on the street. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So for Hispanic brothers, when you're at home, you're being educated in religion, and that is either the Christian or the Catholic religion. And the reason why you're educated that way is because your grandma educated your mom, who educated you, or your father and your grandfather likewise did the same. And then your great grandma educated your grandma, who then educated your mom, educated you in that religion. And it's been passed on so deeply that, you know, your mom is teaching you about the saints. And it's not only something you're taught, but it's something you visually see. You know, if you understand what visuals do, a visual concept helps you engrave that image into your mind. When you do visual concepts, they engrave it into the mind. Always, the last thing you see is what you remember the most. So when you go into your mom's kitchen and you're seeing all the statues and all the saints, or you go
Right.
into her living room and you see the pictures and the crosses, and you know she has a Bible, but she never opens it. You know, you never see your mom reading the Bible ever. Who's ever seen their mom read a Bible? Who's ever seen their mom
Right.
sit at the table and open the Bible and read it? You've never
Right.
seen that. Not your dad, not your mom, not your aunt. None of them read it. They open it for a little bit, read about 2 or 3 lines, and then close it up. And there's your Bible study right there. Then you go to church, and at the Christian church, the pastor stands there. You know, he's going to do a whole sermon, not based on the precept of the Bible, but based on a story that he's telling you. And then he'll tell you to read a few precepts, and bam, there's your Bible study. Your Bible
Right.
classes seem to be the same Bible classes over and over and over again. You know, you got these, what are they called, elders in the church, who teach the
Right.
kids, teach these, and they just tell stories. They're not really teaching you the Bible. For you to really know the Bible, you would have to come into a school like the ISUPK, where they're breaking down precepts. I have
Right.
never heard of breaking down a precept. I'm Hispanic. You know, I was a Christian. You know, I was a Catholic, and I never heard about breaking down a precept. I didn't understand that concept. When the UPK talked about they were going to break down a precept at the beginning, I was like, oh, damn, I never heard that. And I never knew about breaking down a precept like that.
Right.
And then when they told you, you know, here a little, there a little, well, there's another thing. What do you mean here or there, here a little, there a little? And then you went from one page, and then you jumped to another page, and then you found that word in another page. Well, there it is where you're breaking it down. And the Christian and Catholic Church don't break it down like that. And then they break it down even heavier when they give you the definition of a word, and they tell you what that word really means in the Hebrew and not in the
Right.
Spanish or the English. So, but your mom and your grandma and your grandfather and your great grandma and your, you know, so on and so forth, they never did that. They never understood that. So
Right.
when you're in a Christian church or a Catholic church, you're being educated in the generations of miseducation from religion at home. At home is where you're getting educated. Because who takes you to church? Your mom does. Who takes you
Right.
to misa? Your grandma takes you to misa. Your mom takes you to misa. Your dad takes you to misa. You go to what is that? On Christmas, you go to Christmas misa. You go Easter, you go to misa. But they don't break down the Bible. They're not giving you the lowdown on what the Bible is really saying, or like I said, they don't tell you what the meaning of the words are in the original form, which is Hebrew. They're trying to
Right.
tell you what the word means in their concept of what it means. And there's a real simple one that I'm going to talk about real quick, and that's the word holy, translated
Right.
in Spanish, santo, right? So when you say holy, right, in English, it means different than the word santo, and it means different in the Hebrew, right? So when you say holy, who's holy? The Holy Father, the Holy Catholic Church, the Holy Priest. In the Spanish term, Santo, San Martín de Porres es un santo, Santo Niño de Antoche, Santa Muerte, you know, Santa Esmeralda, Santa Ines. You hear the santos, and then you ask, well, what's a santo? And a Mexican person will tell you, well, it's an individual who's been canonized because he did something special, and now he's a saint. So
Right.
holy is santo, santo is saint. But what's a saint, right? And what is holy? Well, holy, as we know it in the Hebrew language, means to be separate.
Right.
And saint doesn't exist in the Bible as these individuals. You know what I
Right.
mean? We're all saints because we're the children of Israel, right? We're priests and prophets, right? But when you look at it in your mom's perspective, they don't see it in the same way. Your mom and your grandfather and them, your uncles and them, they didn't learn the Bible the way it should be. So let me move forward. The reason why you can't understand the way to read the Bible is because the minute someone like Malakma comes and tells you, I'm going to tell you about the Bible, the first thing that happens to you is the instinct that your mom taught you about religion kicks in and blocks you from wanting to understand.
Right.
On the contrary, people get mad, they get angry, and they start to say you're in a cult,
Right.
you're wrong, you don't know what you're talking about, and they begin to how could I say, like, I don't want to say the word judge, but they begin to see you in a manner that they think that you don't know what you're talking about,
Right.
that you are not the person. So, and why? Because of that education that's been given to you when it comes to religion, and when you tell people you can't be of a religion, you have to be of a culture, because there is no religion. The Greeks had a religion, the Romans had a religion. We don't have a religion, we have a culture. But it's hard to
Right.
understand because that part of your brain that has been educated in religion does not allow you to intake anything new, and it immediately rejects any type of common sense that may be out there. It won't even let you think for yourself. There is no common sense. America teaches you no common sense. They teach
Right.
you everything else. So let's say I'm talking about religion at home and how you're educated in miseducation of religion. So then you go to school. What does school teach you? Well, school's teaching you the lies that are from an education system, an American Institute of Education, where they taught you Christopher Columbus discovered America, but it was a lie. They
Right.
taught you they said blacks, right? They were trying to say blacks came here as workers. No, they came here as slaves. Now they're telling you LGBT, homosexuality, and these things is normal. Non-binary. Well, here's another
Right.
miseducation, and just the way we've been miseducated, your children will begin to be miseducated, and by the second or third generation, this non-binary, you don't have a sex, you can be whatever you want, will become common knowledge, and they will then be normal to be whatever that is. They'll take it as normal. And if somebody tries to tell them that it's not right, they will immediately reject it. Why? because it's already third, fourth generation, and they've already been educated into believing that. And that's what happened to us. We were educated in believing religion, a white Jesus, the saints, you're Mexican American, you're free in America, right? America loves you. You know, these things that you've been educated in, they're not yours. And I'll prove it to you. Very simple. In 1965, right, blacks thought they were free because of emancipation, right? During the 1700s, the freedom of blacks, and now you're free. And what is that? 10 acres and a mule, whatever it was, all that. Native American Indians, and we're free now. You weren't free, but in your mind, you were like, well, at least we're not slaves no more. At least we're not on our plantation no more. At least now we're free. People still think that way, but in 1965, black and Hispanic. Oh no, and let me add, black and Hispanic still went and fought World War One, World War Two, Vietnam, and Korea. They went and fought for what? For freedom, and they believed they were coming back, and they believed, yeah, we fought for the freedom of our people. They came back pumped up, right, and talking about freedom because we fought in these wars, World War Two, Vietnam, Korea. And black and Hispanics, Native Indians, we fought for the freedom of America. So we're free. But yet in 1965 and 64 and 66, you had to go out into the streets of America and rally and protest for equal rights, social justice. Why were you doing that if you just murdered and killed supposedly enemies who were threatening your freedom? But you got back to realize that the real people that were threatening your freedom are still threatening your freedom. And now you have to come together and march for equal rights, civil rights, because you thought you had freedoms that you never had. And you were living a lie all this time thinking, we're free because I joined the Army, the Navy, the Marines, and I fought for the freedom of America. But whose freedom did you really fight for? Well, not you, but your uncle, your dad, your brothers, your sister, your older brothers, right? Who did they fight for? Your grandfather? Who did they go to war and come back sick from Agent Orange or from radiation poisoning or from post-traumatic stress disorder,
right?
Or from losing a limb or from coming back hooked on heroin from fighting a war that you thought, that they thought was for their freedom, and it was never for their freedom. It was for the freedom of a nation that doesn't see you equal to them. And you're educated in the school system. You're educated to think that. You're educated to think that you live in a nation where you're actually learning for your own freedom and how to be free. But then why were you marching for freedom and equal rights, civil rights in 65? When supposedly you were free in 1776 or who knows when. And you fought in these wars. Your people died in World War II, died in Vietnam, Korea, Afghanistan, Pakistan, but yet you're still not free. And to this day, you're still not free because the prison system is overwhelmed by black and Hispanics.
Right.
Black and Hispanics are being murdered on the streets of America by a police department who doesn't see you equal to their to your counterpart, right? And who's your counterpart? Well, the same people that run this nation. They have a privilege that you don't have, and that's your education system. Religion at home, education at school, and now racism on the streets of America. And what's the racism? Is everything we learn from the hate that is being spilled onto the streets, onto our kids from other nations. Instead of living together in our same neighborhoods, even though we live house to house, black, Hispanic, black, Hispanic, black, black, Hispanic, Hispanic, and we share the same streets, we go at each other, kill each other, hate each other, and all because we're educated in a nation that does not love black, Hispanic, or Native.
Right.
Go ahead, Malak, Salakia.
Nah. Hey, I don't want man. This is your show. I don't want, so you can go ahead and get down, do your thing. But not Salaki. I don't want, just real quick. It's heavy that you say that, right? Because it's like the indoctrination is one thing, man. And that whole history, right? Like you said, the resistance that brothers and sisters have towards us. You know what I mean? When we tell them you're an Israelite, and they just look at us like we're the most evilest people in the world, man. Like, what they tell us. They also tell us we're committing indigenous erasure, right? That we're
Wow.
we're bringing some type of harm to their tribal nation when we tell them they're God's chosen people, man. You know what I mean? And the only way to respond and break it down is, okay, well, if you're saying me calling you an Israelite is indigenous erasure, well then you're basically saying if I call you a Native American, that's indigenous erasure. You know what I mean? Because the only thing I'm giving you is I'm just giving you your racial identity as a people. I'm not denying, or what is it, disregarding your tribal nation, the history of your elders and what they endured and went through. But we all agree, for some odd reason, indigenous people from the north to the south, right? We all say we're one people, we're one people on this land, and we don't even realize why we're saying it. We're saying it because spiritually we know we're one people. Spiritually we know we're a race of people, but we don't know what that race is unless you come in here, man. You know what I mean? Unless you come in here in the ISUPK, we're giving you that race, that racial identity, because Native American Indian is not your racial identity, right? You're Native Italian, right? You're a native of Americo Vespucci because that's where the name comes from, right? From Americo Vespucci. But then, and that's one point. I don't want. What another thing I wanted to touch on is what you said, right, about how we joined the military and how, we do all these things to gain Esau's. The reason why we joined the military, the reason why we march and we do the whole thing for civil rights. Like, we think we're the best Christians we can be. We try to be the best, American citizens we can be. And the reason why we do it, right? We do it to gain the love of Esau, to gain the love of these gringos, right? So, like, I don't know, what's that saying about the definition of insanity? That insanity is doing the same thing over and over again.
Over and over again, exactly.
And that's what's happened to us. We've been stricken with insanity, right? What's one of the curses in Deuteronomy? That we'd be stricken down with madness and blindness.
Right.
I believe is what it is. Well, that's what it is, man. That's the proof, because we constantly, over and over and over again, we try to win Esau's love, not realizing that we're suffering from insanity doing that. You know what I mean? We done lost, sacrificed limbs, our lives, our homelands, our families. You know what I mean? We'll sacrifice the love for one another to love this devil, and it's not getting us any results, man. Only thing we're getting from this devil is more hatred, and he just laughs at us and looks at us like a joke. You know what I mean? Because we don't have the will to stand up and be like and stop loving them and start telling them the hell with you. You know what I mean? I'll stay on you stay on your end, I'll stay on my end. We can't even find it in our hearts to say we hate you to the white man. You know what I mean? We're looked at so evil for saying that, and that's the insanity, the astonishment, the madness and the blindness, because we can't see that this nation hates us as a people, man. We don't want to see it. Salaka, sir. So I'll give you the floor back up.
You're absolutely right. No, you're absolutely right. What you're talking about is absolutely right. That's why, sometimes, even though we sound like we may be what they call racist, in reality, we make sense with what we're talking about. Because you have to stop for a moment and know that if you're living in a wicked world, then what is this wicked world, really doing? And the only way you can really start deciphering it is that when you start to really, look at what's going on. Everybody knows, like, there's so many conspiracy theories in America. What was that cat's name? Alex Jones. Alex Jones was a cat who was talking about conspiracy theories over and over and over again. And a lot of us thought, man, this guy's crazy, man. You used to smoke weed and you believe everything. Then you started realizing, no, this cat's crazy. But if you really start to look at what he was talking about, you begin to realize that his craziness is making sense.
Right.
The only thing is that it's making sense when you start to think about that all that he was saying was actually talking about us. When he was saying there was going to be concentration camps in America, and they were gonna, start packing people in what is it, in private prisons. That's what he talked about, right? Private
Right.
prisons, and that they made what I remember him saying. Alex Jones was saying they're making fences for people, can't get out. The way the fences are
Right.
made, they're being made for people can't get out. And he was saying they're going to start putting, bundling people up in here. He was taking pictures. He said they were making them close to train tracks because that's where they were going to start shipping people out. And then you were thinking, this guy is crazy. But then you start thinking, wait a minute. Maybe he's not so crazy. Maybe the only thing crazy about him is that him saying that it's going to happen to everybody. But it didn't happen to everybody. Actually, if you really take a look at what he said, it happened to Hispanic people. We were the ones who ended up in those private prisons he was talking about. We were the ones who ended up in the privatized prison system. We ended up being herded up into these places and our families being separated. The concentration camps of America that he was talking about that were coming are already here. But we're the ones in them. Hispanic brothers and sisters who are coming from the border to America, and they're being grabbed as in mass numbers and being thrown into these detention centers is what they were. And
Right.
he was talking about it as if he knew what he was talking about. But he failed to say, all these are going to happen to Hispanic brothers. All this is going to happen to Mexican people, to Latin American people. That's who these are for. He knew what he was talking about. He just didn't say it was going to be for us. He left out a very important part. He left out the part where he should have said, these places are being built for Latinos who are coming as immigrants to America, and these concentration camps that Alex Jones was talking about, these detention centers, these private prisons, these places that were supposed to be Auschwitz all over again, were, but for Hispanic people, because
Right.
they're not doing that to the Ukrainians. The Ukrainians are being put in that place. They're not finding themselves in these detention centers. We are. Hispanic brothers are. Their families aren't being separated. Us Hispanic brothers are. We're being separated. They're not being murdered in the street. We're being murdered in the street. Alex Jones talked about that they were going to militarize the police. Remember? He was like, they're going
Right.
to militarize the police. They're getting special weapons, this and that. Well, you're absolutely right. They did. He said they're going to use it to come against the American people. Actually, they used it to come against the black brothers and sisters who were rioting for the murders that were happening across America about 2 or 3 years ago, that they burned down cities because of what was going on. And
God.
they bring in these armored tanks, armored cars. Police use police brutality and force. They use these on the Native American Indian people up in North Dakota. I saw it. They had this. They had this. I don't know, like this armored tank that had this weapon on top that was a sonic weapon that they used to
Good
shoot
night.
the sound at the Native American Indians to force them off the land. And they were bringing that weapon out and shooting it at them. They used this weapon that they had where they were shooting water cannons with dirty water, nasty, dirty water at the Native American Indian people. That's what they were doing. Sewage water is what they were doing, shooting it at the
Good
Native
night, I
American
don't want-
Indian people. They were using all kinds of dirty tactics against the Native American Indian people. They were using all kinds of militarized tactics against black brothers and sisters across the nation when they were rioting for the death of man, you can name dozens of them, and And you know, it could have been avoided. Just don't kill black people. If you're gonna take a Caucasian in, right, peacefully, right, and still take him to McDonald's after he murdered, right, to get him a meal, well, why can't you
Right.
do that to black brothers and sisters? Why can't you help black people and, you know, put your hands up, put your hands behind your back, you know, cuff them up and take them in
Right.
without beating them, without torturing them, without murdering them on the streets of America? The reason you're doing that is because you want a racial war, because
Right.
America wants blacks to rise up in a war against America. And
Right.
black man, black woman, Mexican man, Mexican woman, Native American Indian man and woman, you're on the losing end of a war against a nation that prides himself in building weapons. Go ahead, Malaka.
So, like, sir, if I could, real quick, what you brought out is heavy, right? When you talking about Standing Rock, right? That situation over there.
Gone, Standing Rock.
Salakia, I remember when we went to the powwow like a few months back, right? We were talking to a brother there at the powwow, and he was there over there at Standing Rock. And what that brother brought out, right, was he that the people, right, that led the whole movement, right, to stop the Dakota Access Pipeline. One by one, they were disappearing. So all the leaders of that were behind that movement, just one by one, started getting, they got missing. So
Right.
that's crazy that's what's going on. And all the tribe of Gad wants is just clean drinking water. They don't want a
Right.
pipeline being built in their sacred grounds, for one, and two, they don't want their water contaminated with oil. And that's just a basic human right that this devil does not want to give our people, man. You know what I mean? So like I don't also you mentioned Alex Jones, right? Did Alex Jones not say that the Native Americans are Israelites?
Yeah, he did say that. I believe so. I believe they
Right.
know. They know what it is. They know exactly what's going on. They just refuse to touch that because touching that is that's real delicate, man. They don't wanna mention that because to
Right.
mention that is to mention the power that Black Hispanics and Native Americans really have. You know what I'm saying? That would be what that is. So they don't wanna say that. They don't wanna mention that. They want no part of that because they already know where we're going when you start talking about Black, Hispanic, Native American Indians being of the 12 tribes of Israel. The Mormons know that
Right.
Mexicans are Israelites. The Mormons know Mexicans are Israelites. They know that we
Wow.
come from the lineage of kings. They
Right.
know that.
So like, yes, sir. What was that story about Moctezuma that he said his people are a descendant of Israel, like of kings and stuff from another land?
Yeah, the Mayans, the Toltecs, they understood where they came from. They understood that they come from a place where the sun rises in the east. That's what they know they come from. They
Right.
come from a place where the sea was parted, and their people had to walk over the rocks away from slavery. And that's the way they're putting it. They
Right.
know exactly where they came from. You know
That's
what I'm
heavy,
saying?
sir. Nah, that's heavy. I don't want you bring that out, right? And that you got to ask yourself why there's countless books, right? That of friars saying they recognize that these people were the Israelites. You know what I mean? Now to our Rasa that don't want to understand that yet, you just look at our oppression. Our oppression
Right.
is documented in Deuteronomy 28. As I touched earlier, I was bringing out the black and brown beef, right? And the brown on brown crime, you know what I mean? Like that's in Deuteronomy 28, where it says the man that is tender among you, his eyes shall be evil towards his brother. You know what I
Right.
mean? So like everything that's happening to us, right? Like it's in the Bible. These plays right now, the monkeypox, right, going on right now, that's in the Bible. You know what I mean?
Right. Done.
So like is like what's tripping me out. I don't want not to sidebar too much, sir. Just wanted to say this about the monkeypox, right? What's a trip is that the monkeypox is related to smallpox, and smallpox was used on our ancestors. You know what I mean, as a biological warfare tactic, right? They won't say it fully, but that's why they purposely, you know what I mean? And then these devils, right? Like we know today, right, that monkeypox can spread through sexual contact. Back then, you ask yourself why these Spaniards and conquistadors had smallpox, because they were probably doing nasty stuff on that trip over here. They were doing nasty stuff to our people. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
when you think about it, they did that to us, and now the Lord is bringing it back to them.
Right.
Right. And He's bringing it back to the wicked of this country,
right.
because that whole man, straight up, right? That whole LGBT is a wicked thing.
Right.
And now they're finding themselves, paying for that. And, they're gonna, I heard they're gonna lock down San Francisco because of the spread of this monkeypox,
Right.
And when you think about it, that's the Lord sending plagues. That's biblical. You're in the end of the, we are walking on the threshold of the end of times. And when we say times, we're talking about America is running on borrowed time. The borrowed time from the Most High. They're running on a clock that's running out. They started with a clock of sand, and that sand has diminished, and it's trickling down the last of that sand at the bottom. And its time is running out. And with it, every time that glass started dropping that sand, on each one of them was a different plague or different, how's that, a prediction of the end of time, a prophecy. And the prophecy of the plagues is in full effect in America today. The prophecy of the plagues is in full effect in America today. You had a plague that shut down the world, right? You have a plague that hasn't gone away. Everybody's getting COVID still. COVID's not gone. This plague is still here. You got the Omicron. They're talking about a new strain of Omicron that's come out. And then you get people who talk about, well, no, that's not the Lord. Governments made that. The government made that. In China, they made that plague. Well, of course the government made it. God doesn't make a plague and send it to you. No, God uses man as instrument for his own destruction. God didn't, when Egypt, when the Hebrews were in Egypt, when Israel was in Egypt as in slavery, God's the one who hardened Pharaoh's heart.
Right.
Pharaoh's the one who didn't let them go. So God used Pharaoh to try to change the mind of Israel to get out of it. But we didn't listen. We'd rather listen to Pharaoh. God didn't send that plague. God used man to make a plague so that we can understand in our time the prophecies of the end of times are here today, and we're the ones now who are now speaking on it. We're the chosen ones who have been elected to come and warn everybody about what's about to happen, about the end of this nation and the end of this reign of this world of the Caucasian and the coming reign of Israel. That's what we're here for. That's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Malaki.
That's heavy, Adawan. You know what I mean? Because, like you said, like you brought out earlier, right? That we can see it because we're in this truth. You know what I mean? Because Christ, right? What did Christ say? You did not choose me, but I chose you, right? And that makes sense as to why you can break something down to people over and over and over, and they still don't get it. Because me being in here in the ISUPK, I can see why COVID's happening right now. You know what I mean? I can see why. Like, I don't have to jump to a conspiracy theory and think that, it was man-made in the lab and that, it's some agenda by the elites meant to, do whatever. Like, I know this is of the Lord because the people the way this plague started was by, this other nation of people eating unclean meat.
Right.
Now the same thing with monkeypox. right? Like I don't have to look at it like as some conspiracy of the Illuminati sending this virus out to control whatever, when I know that the Lord is against that alternative lifestyle, and that it's not a coincidence that it started with them, with their pride events, their raves, whatever they had, where they all gathered together as a people. Then you had Pride Month, and then you're wondering why the outbreak has number of cases has spiked like to high levels. You know what I mean? So it is like I could see that now, and because Most High Christ, for you, for Commanding General Yohana, for Captain Gaddafi, for all the men above me that had taught me this. You know what I mean? That I could see it. Now, brothers and sisters in the world can't see it. They can't see it, and because they can't see it, they're gonna still go and mix themselves amongst you know the alphabet community. You know what I mean? Because they think they got to support them. Because God forbid that you don't agree with it. Now all of a sudden you're a bigot. All of a sudden you're hateful. But you know what I mean? And God forbid you don't stop putting down that pork, shrimp, crab, or lobster. You know what I mean? Because it's the other white meat.
Right.
Now you're gonna get monkeypox. Now you're gonna hit with COVID, man. You know what I mean? Because you can't see it. When all you got to do is and that's all people got to do is put their pride down, man, and see the bigger picture, man. Like the Lord is not with this, man, and He's letting you know through us. When we tell you what it is, you should listen to us, man. You shouldn't doubt us and think we don't know what we're talking about. You should listen to us when we warned you, because we were trying to save your life. Literally, if you were to listen to the men and priests, of the ISUPK, your life could be saved. Literally. Salaki, sir.
No, absolutely. That's why it's important to get into these classes to learn this, because time is short, man. You don't want to believe it, but the more you look around every year, I said this a couple of years ago, right? I think, man, you can go back to some of my shows, and I've always said every year for the last, man, I'm going to say since the beginning of the 2000s, every year there's been something new. The tsunami, remember the tsunami,
right?
Major earthquake, what is that? Man, you can go back. The fires, those devastating fires,
right.
Man, shit that's been like unreal. Shit that's been unreal. Like things that have been like, you never seen this before. Like we've seen shit that has never seen before. You know what I'm saying? Real destructive things that are coming on this earth. And you know what happens is that we live in you know what it is we're how am I gonna say this? We're desensitized. That's the problem. We're a generation that desensitized. We'll see something today and we'll think about it, and tomorrow we'll forget about it and go on our way and go on our day. Not considering that what just happened is impacting for the whole world. You know what I'm saying? And the truth was, the first one, of course, what happened to in what is that? China and Thailand, Japan, with that tsunami, right?
Right.
That destroyed. I don't know if you just saw, right? I don't think you guys have seen this, but and let me see if I can find it, right? Let me see if I can find it, because this is something you haven't considered, right? Let me see if I can find it real quick. Right? It's something no one considers because you don't think about it. And you're about to consider it today. Don't go no place. I'm about to show you something that you might have not known before.
Right.
And if you're scared, go to church. You know what I'm saying? If you're scared, go to church. I'm about to show you.
So like, I don't want to go ahead. Now I was gonna say something real quick, but
go ahead.
Now I was gonna say what you described, right? Like, is basically that we've been given a false sense of security. You know what I mean? Like we think it can't happen to us. Well, learn from all these sisters right now that are freaking showing their TikTok videos of them with all those sores around their mouths. You know what I mean?
Right.
They thought they couldn't get monkeypox, and yet they was kicking out, whatever they was doing. You know what I mean? Like they got the monkeypox. That's all I can say. Salakia.
Right. Okay, so I found it, but I was trying to find a news article. I was trying to find a news article that I read about, but I couldn't find it. But let me get this here real quick, just to let you know, it's actually a news article that came out, and it's about that incident that happened in the tsunami, right? Remember that tsunami? The earthquake that hit was of a magnitude that was like, I don't know, ridiculous, right? 9 point something or some shit like that. It was like ridiculous. It was ridiculous. Well, people think that that's over, right? Most people think, well, the earthquake happened, whoop-de-woo. It came, it went, and we survived it. And, it's a new day. And we don't think of anything else because, once again, you're trained and you're desensitized from really thinking about what is going on, right? You really, you're drawn away from the reality of your world. I'm gonna say your world because you live in this goddamn world, but you don't understand what's going on with it because you're not in tune. You're in tune with the next rap artist. You're in tune with shit like that. You're not in tune with what's going on in the world today. And I just want to, before I continue, I want to show you this. And I was trying to find the news article. And I could probably find it. But one second.
Sweat out of one. Well, yeah, concert.
It's a lot down. I have it in here already to bring up, but I was looking for the news article. I can't find it. Well, so let me just get it real quick because I don't want to waste too much time. So here it is. Take a look at this. It's a fact that's happening now, right? It was caused by the tsunami that hit during the 2000. It took them this long to find out that your Earth is spinning faster than what it was before. It's now moving at a quicker rate than it was before, due to the tsunami tilting the world on its axis a little more than what it was before, because the earthquake was so strong that it actually moved the Earth to its side a little bit. You know what I mean? And then what happened was that, and this is what I read because I sat there and read the whole damn thing. And what happened is they're saying that since it did that, it caused the Earth to start spinning faster than what it was before. And it's only seconds, right? They say it's only seconds, but it is moving faster than what it was, I don't know, 20 years ago, whatever. Well, before the goddamn tsunami happened, And it's funny because I was thinking about that, and I think there's a verse in the Bible that talks about that, that talks about the world or time going faster. I think it's biblical. That time will go faster. I saw that somewhere in the Bible, but I don't want to quote it yet because I was thinking of getting it together to be able to speak about this on one of my shows, to speak about the Earth moving faster and the precept that is that goes with it. And that's why I didn't get all this prepared. But I had it. I was like, man, I wanna put this out, because it's something that may be prophetic. You know what I mean? For the future. And let me see if I can find one more thing. Okay, so yeah. But once again, the point that I'm making is that we don't consider, what's going on. We don't consider it because we've been trained to be desensitized. Here's another one. Look, I have this one too. 2021. Imagine they knew this last year. Will be shorter than normal because the Earth is spinning faster. Scientists say, right? And this, when I read the article, it talked about the reason why they predict that it's moving faster, and it had everything to do with the earthquake that had happened. The earthquake that had happened, the tsunami in what was that? India? I believe it was India, right?
So there was one also in Japan.
India. Well, it was the same one. It hit in India, but of course Japan felt it. You know what I mean?
Man, it hit everywhere. I don't want to lie you.
Yeah, it hit everywhere. That's how bad it was. It was so devastating that it didn't only hit India, but it hit China, it hit Japan. Wasn't that what caused what was that happened in Japan? The nuclear fucking
right, yeah, right. The meltdown.
The meltdown, absolutely. It caused the meltdown in Japan. It caused that radiation spill into the ocean, right? That it was spilling radiation radiated water into the ocean for almost 6, 7, almost a year, or I think even more. That it was spilling that water that everybody was thinking, oh, hell no, that's it, it's over. How about, this is also in the 2000s. How about that, what was that? The Shell, the oil rig out in off of Texas.
Right.
Right? In
the Gulf of Mexico.
Gulf of Mexico, that it spilled all that oil, that they were talking about, that there was going to be monsters coming out of the ocean and all kinds of shit,
Right.
That they were doing something, and but that was devastating. You know what I'm saying? And these are natural and unnatural disasters that, if you take a look, it's happened. But it's been happening a long time. But of course, because time has been taking its toll, once again, it happens in America because America and the world is now on borrowed time and coming to its point. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead,
Salaki, sir. What's that scripture that says he knows that he has but a little time, or something like that?
Yeah, exactly. He knows that he has but a little time. Yeah.
That's why these devils are acting the way they're acting. Everything going on around us, and you're seeing how more violent Esau's getting. That's why they're shooting up the places, man, and they're marching. They stormed that Capitol. You know what I mean? Not now,
Right.
Let another lockdown come on, and you're gonna see how much more wilder Esau's gonna get. Let the water run out. You're gonna see how much more violent and crazier these Edomites are gonna be. These gringos are gonna be, man. You know what I mean? Because they know they have but a short time, right? Salaki, I don't want. I'm gonna say this, man. It tripped me out, like, and it was a reminder of the time we're living in right now. I drove by right down the street. I was taking my rib and to the store, and as we driving down the street, there's this I don't know what it's like, some kind of hardware store or something like that, and the store had like a banner outside hanging saying bomb shelters for sale.
Wow. Wow.
So they back to selling bomb shelters.
Yeah, that's where they're going. That's what's going to happen to them, man. They're going to start, they're going to start trying to find a way to survive. And that right there that you're talking about is prophetic, because they are going to find a way to survive, and they are going to find bomb shelters, and they are going to go down there and hide, because that's the job that the prophets of the ISUPK are going to have, to go out there and bring them out of the holes that they're hiding. What does
Right.
it say? May the rocks fall on top of me and hide me, right?
Right.
And that's exactly what's going to happen. That's where it's going to. You know what I mean? So yeah, you can, that's part of the whole thing. Part of the Lord's plan is that right there. So
Right.
yeah, you better know it. Yeah, you better know
Yeah.
it. You better know that that's what's going to happen.
Better, wake up to what time it is, man, for the raza and whatnot. You know what I mean? This is when you want
Right,
to learn the truth, man, and come in here in the ISUPK. You know what I
right,
mean?
right,
But what is it?
right, right.
Romans 13:11, right? For now is high time to awake out of sleep. For our
Absolutely.
salvation is, what is it? The day of our salvation is near, right?
Right,
Or closer to, paraphrasing it, of course, closer than what we thought, right? And like, this is the truth about the Bible. The Bible is our story. The Bible is talking about us, man. You know what I mean? It's
right.
telling us to separate and come back within our own, man. You know what I mean? Because
Absolutely,
things are getting
absolutely.
crazy. These other nations are showing their hatred for us. They're gonna start, you're gonna see things get crazy on a whole new level. You know what I mean? The
Right.
race war is already taking place. You know what I mean? But
Gone.
now you're gonna see Esau get crazy. You're gonna see these oppressors going into our barrios, into our ghettos, and literally, shooting up. Like shooting us up. I mean, it's already happening. That's what that devil did over there in what is it, in Ohio? Not Ohio.
Right.
In Buffalo, right? He went to the
Gone.
store in the ghetto, in a black neighborhood, and started gunning down people, man. That
Right.
devil, what's his name, Patrick Crucius, he went into the barrio where the raza was at, right, and
Right.
went to the
Gone.
Walmart and started shooting up raza. You know what I mean?
Right. Gone.
So, like, I
Gone.
understand you,
Absolutely.
concert. You know what I
Go
mean?
ahead.
So
Go ahead.
it's no, I would say, like, I understand, right, the outrage and the anger when these rappers, right, make disrespectful music videos. I understand the outrage and the anger when you see, our Judite brothers and sisters attack our street vendors. You know what I mean? I
Right.
understand the outrage, when we show hatred to one another. You know what I mean? We do it though. We attack our own people too, man. We hate on our black brothers and sisters too. You know what I mean? We do that, and we're not realizing what's really going down. You know what I mean? Those videos and all can be disrespectful. We can bring it to attention, and they get taken down, but we got something bigger to worry about, something more life threatening. Because a music video, you know what I mean, is not gonna kill you. You know what I mean?
Gone.
Literally, yeah, it's not gonna literally kill you. But that white man with that gun, best believe he's going to the shooting range every on his weekends, and will literally have a picture of you on the target and shoot it. Try to mark and hit you right, try to get that bullseye every time, right? What is it? Get the target every time. So like, I got a lot to learn about shooting and whatnot, but you
Gone.
know what I mean? He's gonna try to get that marksmanship on your face. Every weekend he's doing that. Every weekend they're buying guns and loading up their ammo. They're preparing for war. You know what I mean?
Gone.
Meanwhile, we over here worried about, what rappers, that are ignorant do. You know what I mean? You know
I
what I mean?
seen
So,
a post today where I guess some brothers said they went to a shooting range and all the shooting targets were all black. Were all black pictures of black people.
damn.
So yeah, it's heavy. It's heavy to understand because we see all that's going on, and when you think about it, brothers like me and you are making an attempt to drop that barrier of hate between black and Hispanics.
Right.
And that's what we're here for. We're trying to do that. Most High in Christ for Commanding General Hana and the
That's right.
ISUPK and everybody in there who's been able to help us to understand. And now we have this job that we're trying to do, and that's bringing us together. Man, Malakbo, I'm gonna call it, man. The
No
water
sweat.
for
I don't.
taking my show today. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
It's
most
already
high
11
press.
o'clock. Man, we sat here and we talked through the whole thing. We didn't think we were going to go that long, but we
Kawkan.
always think we're not going to go that long, and then we end up, a whole show. Man, the water for taking
Kawkan.
the show today.
I
Great
understand.
class
Most
as
high.
always, man. We always have something to talk about. Always something good. Especially when we talk about, being prepared for the day of the Lord.
Right.
That's really the point that we're making. Preparing yourself for the day of the Lord, and one way of preparing is brotherhood and bringing
Right.
together Black and Hispanic, Native American Indians. That's preparation for us. And of course, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, and more importantly, coming into this truth, doing
Right.
this work, doing these classes, and doing your part to bring together Israel. It's prophetic. It's part of the Bible. It's part of it. We will remember who we are uh, in the land of our captivity. And we will call the Lord by His name. And the Lord will hear us, and then He'll come back and make us a nation once again. And that's
Right.
prophetic. So if you participate in that prophecy, then yeah, you deserve a part in the kingdom, because you're doing your part to fulfill an important prophecy. The Lord's fulfilling His prophecy of destruction in a land that's learning of borrowed time. It's time we participate in our part, which is doing this work. You know what I'm saying? The water for
Right.
joining us, Malakmat, the water for having the class, the
The
water
water
for
you,
everybody for
sir.
tuning in. Don't forget the Inconvenient Truth every Wednesday. Catch us also tomorrow, right, with Captain Goodahar on his show, One West Radio, right, straight out of
Right.
California, right after class tomorrow on ISUPK Hollywood Israelites. Right. Don't forget, we also got ISUPK Puerto Rico,
Right.
ISUPK Mexico, and every Monday we got La Neta with all the Hispanic brothers joining in our part to bring Hispanic brothers into the street. Man, join us, support us, like and share, comment. Most importantly, participate on our shows. We appreciate everybody for watching and joining with us. Till next week, Shalom Yahweh Shim Yahushai to the brothers.
Sure.
Shalom Alathab Shim Yahushai to the sisters who watch us. Most High in Christ, the water to you, Malak, for having my class.
The water you, sir.
All right. Till next
Shalom,
week,
Rasa.
Shalom Israel.